We interrupt your regularly scheduled program to bring you another episode of We Can Help with Dave and Woody, already in progress.
What?
It's fun with flags.
Oh, that's right. I was very confused when you said that. I was
Remember that? Remember that from
no, I didn't watch that show.
Big Bang Theory. Was it Big
Yeah.
Bang?
Yeah,
No,
I
wait.
don't know.
No. Big Bang is. Wait a minute. Dang it. What's the one where they had the sun and the?
That's a porno they used to do, Dave.
No.
I know you don't like when I go dirty.
What's the one? You go dirty.
Yeah, too dirty.
Was it Big Bang? Big Bang's the guy that had all the scientist guys. And
Yeah.
what's her
Yeah.
name?
Mhm.
Okay, that's fun with flags. What's the other
Okay.
one where they were aliens?
Third Rock from the Sun.
Third Rock from the Sun. I get Big Bang and Third Rock from the Sun confused. You can
Yeah,
imagine.
it's just about the same premise. But anyhow, to go
Yeah.
back to how all this started,
Yeah, please.
that's how Pikachu got its name.
The old Pikachu.
Yep. Now you know. You can share that with your kids at school if you'd like.
I'm going to ask Alexa about it.
I just told you. Why would you have to ask
Well,
Alexa?
I don't trust your stuff. You've been boning up on Boulder Dash lately.
She would know Pikachu from Pokemon.
Alexa, what is the definition of Pikachu?
Pikachu is usually defined as a small yellow mouse-like Pokémon that has red cheeks and a tail shaped like a lightning bolt and has electricity-related powers.
Talk about a tail shaped like a lightning bolt. I'm on this new diet.
Nice segue.
Like that?
Yeah.
I've been eating school cafeteria food and there's a lot of corn. I want corn nuggets,
Oh, that's
if you can only imagine. What I do is I swallow a spoonful and then I chew on a spoonful until they're all gone. Because I'm thinking, this could be entertaining later on.
Is it sapid?
Huh?
Is it sapid?
Sapid? Is that word? Damn it.
Darn it. I went early. I was hoping I went
Is it
early.
really?
Yeah,
Sapid.
yeah.
I think I know it, but I can't remember what it is.
So, yeah, I went early trying to just, I thought maybe I could squeeze that one under the David radar because it was soon and you didn't remember we were playing that game. But for
Well,
the
your lexicon is really limited. I know that.
sapid, it's having a strong, pleasant taste.
I kind of knew the context, but I wasn't sure of the depth. Anyway, so I'm on this strict diet where I come home and you bust up on a sleeve of Ritz crackers, right?
Yeah, you
And
both,
then
what? Say that again?
you bust open a sleeve of Ritz
sorry.
crackers,
All right.
and then you like today I picked up Mexican corn, street corn. Are you familiar with the Mexican street corn?
I've heard about it, but I'm not sure. So when you said you picked it up, you can't buy it in a store, can you?
Yeah, Winn-Dixie's got it.
Well, then it's not street corn.
Well, that is part of the dilemma. It's street corn containerized with a vacuum seal pack in the deli section.
Well, if it's popular and it's out and it's sold on the street, it can't be
Well,
healthy.
no. So here's my problem. Excuse me. Pardon me. Too much soda. I've never been to a Mexican restaurant. What line is that from? If you know who said that, too much soda. Um, I've never been to a Mexican restaurant and ordered street corn. So I don't know if it's something that's on the cob or they scrape it off into a pile and do something. I don't know what it is, but this is a dip. It's called Mexican. We got to ask Alexa. Mexican street corn dip, and it could use a little bit more jalapeno.
You and the jalapenos.
I like the jalapeno.
The
So anyway,
jalapenos.
let me get back to this diet. So I had hummus, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no more hummus left. I finished it. I went in strong and
You
dedicated.
push through it,
I
the
pushed-
horrible hummus.
Well, there's a little bit more to that story about pushing through the hummus. I don't know if this is a good diet for everybody because think about it: hummus texture, street corn texture,
Never changes.
spinach dip. It's another great one, and creamy peanut butter, all on a Ritz. Let me
At the
just
same time?
no, it's in cycles.
Oh,
If it
okay.
weren't for the the little applesauce,
Yeah.
I swear by the applesauce. You got to have an applesauce before you go to bed, else nothing moves. It's just one big stagnant blob.
You got to give it a lubricant. Is that the
Oh, I think it's more like a catalyst.
catalyst? Okay.
It needs a
Like
little.
a wadding and a shotgun. I mean, what are we talking here?
It's a pre-fire. It's like
You talk about me getting nasty subjects.
Well, I'm
Come on
trying to
now.
keep it above board here, but I'm feeling a little froggy
Yeah.
because I just ate the street corn. Hold on a second. Let's see. Hold on.
Well, I was going to say, go ahead. No. Not Alexa.
Alexa,
Screw it up.
what is Mexican street corn?
From strengthandsunshine.com. Mexican street corn is a Mexican street food made from grilled corn on the cob, coated in a creamy, tangy, slightly spicy dressing.
And I think it's like mayonnaise. I saw a show the other day that they tried all the variants of street corn. I guess there's potato chips, and like you found an actual corn, and they compared it against the actual street corn.
Huh.
So,
Well, I don't know what the end result's going. Well, I do. It's going to be
the boys down at the water treatment plant had a little extra work to do this week. Pull an OT, give them some OT.
I'm getting ready for the big show.
That's right. That's right. You thinning up. You out running a few miles each day.
No, I gave up on that. Like this afternoon, yesterday.
And you never started, so
No,
you have to start something to give up.
I'm just going to go intermittent fasting. But when you read up on it, it
can't be healthy. No, there's only two ways to lose weight, Dave, and that's diet and exercise.
What are you, an infomercial?
Yeah. That's the
shipping included?
Yeah, no, just diet and exercise. That's all there is.
Have you seen speaking of infomercials, remember was it last week or 2 weeks ago we were talking about free shipping? And you reminded me that the catch of the infomercial was there was no free shipping. It was plus shipping and handling, but they never told us what the shipping cost was.
Right.
Well, it turns out, I've just lost his name, but the guy from Saturday Night Live, he was on ABC's Monday Night Football for a while, but he was too heady. The phraseology.
God, his
he's
name,
hilarious.
Dennis
Miller.
Dennis Miller. There you go.
So he has a new show. Well, I've seen him. I don't know where it's coming out. I don't know where it's broadcasting, but it's on infomercials. He's going back like a nostalgia themed. And the way he talked about like all those commercials we loved. It just sounds like a horrible bit, but I'm sure he'll make it kind of fun. But I'm interested. I don't know where it is. Did anybody know? You know where it is?
Let me ask. No, nobody here knows.
Nobody knows.
Well,
you want to ask Alexa?
You can. Let's give it.
This is a thing we're doing. Alexa, are you aware of Dennis Miller's new show, Infomercials?
Sorry, I don't know that.
I don't think I.
The way you ask questions, it just boggles my mind.
I'm trying to be sensitive to her that she
just ask her the question.
Alexa, when does Dennis Miller's infomercial show start?
From LATimes.com. Miller's show airs weeknights at 6 and 9 p.m.
Okay, she could have told us what network.
Well, how can it be on twice?
I don't think it's a thing.
Does Dennis Miller, Alexa, does Dennis Miller have a new show?
Alexa, does Dennis Miller have a new show?
Here are a few movies playing near Asbury Lake today. Anyone But You, Wonka, Lisa Frankenstein, and The Beekeeper. If you'd like to hear more, ask me to tell you more.
What could she have possibly heard that wants me to tell?
I think that sounds like Kramer. If you like number one, tell me you like number one.
We used to, when I worked at a radio station, we used to do that to people. They would call the listener line. Yeah, that was a popular thing to do, is call the DJs, whatever. And we would be bored, and we were like, to make a request, press 1 now. And they'd press 1. And please say your requests now. And they say, I don't know, by Whitney Houston. And we do the same thing as Alexa say, just go totally, off with the wrong artist. And you get and in the back, we would be recording them in the background and be like, I didn't say that. This stupid thing doesn't understand a word I'm saying. And then we could play that back over the air. The people getting irate at us.
You never played it back though, did you?
Yeah, occasionally we make some bits out of it. So you weren't, depending on how well you had to tell people you were recording them. That was the trick to being able to replay.
You're being recorded. Hey, yeah.
Well, that's why if you hear DJs do it these days, as soon as you say hello, they say you're being recorded. Hello, hey, like that, and that way they've said it to you.
So
technically, you've never heard it.
Funny story. There's a lot. I can't believe I did half this stuff, but we were kids. I don't know whose house. It might have been the guy across the street from me, but we were like 9, I don't know, 10. We weren't teenagers. We were somewhere between 10 and 12, I guess. We would call. Remember, you had a phone book back in the day, and you had to call people by. You could open the phone book up. We had a guy in our neighborhood named Richard Nixon, and we called him one time and just ran like for weeks. We would call this guy, and go, look, Watergate, what's it all about? So then, and his name was Richard Nixon. He got tired of that.
Did you call him Dick?
Oh yeah, I'm sure we did. But anyway, so we would call people and tell them we're at the radio station, and we'd have these contests, and so they could win like a Granada, a brand new Ford Granada or something like that.
Right.
And so I think one of them we did was pretty successful. They had to name their top 10 favorite ice cream flavors, and so it was actually kind of, from a contest standpoint, it was very difficult for you.
Yeah, I would have a tough time naming 10 flavors.
Yeah, I don't know if I can name 5, but I don't know where we came up with the idea, but we said, okay, are you ready to play? And they would get excited. And you're kidding me. And a couple of them would get it. Top 10 ice cream flavors.
I thought you'd wait till they got to 9 to disconnect the line.
So sorry.
I had it. I would have won a new car.
Moose tracks, click. So we had a couple people win it, and they were like, okay, this is so awesome.
Win it.
Man.
I like how you say they won it, like there was something to win.
And then they were next, of course, was like, okay, how do we get our car? And we were like, what? There's no car. What are you talking about?
Who said anything about a car?
Oh my God, we were stupid. Back then we could do stuff like that we didn't have, with no caller ID.
Exactly.
You had the rotary dial phone. This is before push buttons.
That was the tough part about it, right? Is when you were calling random numbers.
Yeah.
When you were calling random numbers, you had to do 7 trips around the dial with that thing, and if you got a busy signal or it was a disconnected line, you'd spend hours dialing numbers to get a good hit on somebody.
Well, that's why we used the phone book. I think we must have figured that out. But because then you'd get one, and in order to go back and talk to that guy again, no one could remember what the phone number was. Because you
would yes
randomly dial stuff. So we would just get in the phone book and start working our way. We were always calling someone that had a name like a star's name and screwing with them. Poor people. Yeah, Nixon got it bad. Well, Richard Nixon.
And I can't.
I think we even called people named Kennedy and started going on about, we're really sorry about what happened. It was terrible.
Nice.
We were cruel people.
What's that song? 8675309.
Jenny's got a gun or something.
Jenny, yeah.
75309. Yeah.
So when that song came out, you couldn't have that phone number in any area code because you were just hammered by phone calls, right? But our friend the hotelier found someone in Orlando that still had that number, and whenever they got bored at work, they would call this guy and ask for Jenny, and it was just often enough that the guy was like, would you stop calling for Jenny? He had he hadn't made a connection that it was to the song because they didn't do it like every day, but they did it enough where the guy was getting so irritated.
Well, the definition of a good prank like that is
Right.
going past the threshold. So I ever tell you about the story about my neighbors, the kid that he's probably dead or in jail. I told you about hitting the cop cars, right? Bombing with
Yes.
oranges. Well, the same guy, Steve, he ran with a guy. I'm not gonna say his name because in case it's out there, but he would go to this guy's house, and I
The
don't
same
know.
guy's house.
They had one guy they picked on, and he lived about 3 neighborhoods over. So our streets were long parallel streets, and so they would skip over 3 blocks and then start on that street. And so they'd go to this guy's house, and we were like in junior high probably, and they'd knock on the door, very professional, and they say, "Hey, we're a couple kids in the neighborhood, and we're doing some extra work around. Can we mow your yard?" And the guy would say, "Ah, thanks, man. We got it. That's pretty cool. We're proud of you. All that good stuff." So it was done, right? It was over. The guy said no. They moved on. I don't know. I don't know if it was a planned thing with Steve. You could never tell. I think he's a little bit nuts. You couldn't tell what was going on. But inadvertently, he'd go back over there. So he and this other fella, I don't know how many days if they had that figured out or not, but as the story went, he said, "I'm going back over there." And so he'd go back over there, knock on the door, and go, "Hey, listen, we're a couple kids in the same story, like repetitively to the T. We're cutting people's yards. Can we cut your yard? Cut and edge your yard." The guy's like, "Hey, I think you guys were here before. Nah, we're good. We're got to take care of it. Thanks a lot." I go, "Okay." So this would go on for like the entire summer. We'd be out of school, right?
Every 2 weeks or something.
Every like it got, I think it perpetuated and it got escalated. It escalated to the guy was because you could tell when he was getting more pissed. And so we'd all be off in the bushes, hiding somewhere,
Right.
watching this thing going on. And so I kid you not, it must have been 30, 40 times they'd been up this guy's house. "Hey, listen, we're cutting yards. Can we cut your yard for you?" And finally you could hear the guy going, "Listen, you stupid sons of guts, stay out of my yard. You're not cutting my yard. Just haul ass,
They should
So
act like it was the first time. Well, go ahead. Maybe I'm ruining it. But go ahead.
no, so I kid you not, one night these guys show up and they've got their dad's lawnmower with them. Or maybe he had a lawnmower in
Somehow a lawnmower got
I think
introduced.
there's a lawnmower on the back porch because the guy had a pool in the backyard too.
All right.
And so the one kid gets in the pool and is swimming, and Steve's cutting the guy's yard at 9 o'clock at night in the dark of night. The mower is going, and he's out back mowing the guy's yard. Well, then all of a sudden you hear this guy screaming at the top of, and they had a brick wall around the back of his house. And here comes the one guy out of the pool in his trunks up over the wall, and then Steve's next up over the wall, and they're running down the street. But they were cutting this guy's backyard. After all this poor guy's like, "What is wrong with these mental kids?"
Oh, I feel sorry for the guy at this point.
I think Steve's seriously. I think he's either dead or he's in prison.
That's there's a couple friends I grew up with. I could picture. I thought you were going to be one of those, as a matter of fact.
He was the same guy when we all worked at Publix. Tonight's show is, it's not crude, but we're taking a little venture here. At least I am. I'll get myself.
We're warming up for this weekend.
Yeah, I got to get my funny on. But anyway, so we're at Publix. We're bag boys. We're all like sophomores and juniors in high school. And on Saturday mornings, you had your customers, right? Because we got tips, and so you had your favorite customers that they liked you, you liked them, and you would see them coming, so you'd run over to the cashier and bag their groceries. And they reciprocated. They were like, "Oh, hey, there's Dave. Thanks for bagging my groceries." Well, Steve would would cut into you knowing that this was your customer,
right?
And pull up and start bagging groceries. And we're like, "Hey, get out of here. This is my people." Well, so what Steve was doing, we didn't figure this out till later on. He'd get you over there and then he'd fart. And he'd let this, I don't know what the kid ate all day long. Maybe he was on this dip diet or whatever. But it was like it was like the things you see on the TikTok,
Right.
but it was
Knocks you for a
natural.
loop.
Yeah, it just would permeate for the whole. And the little lady would be like, "Oh my God, Dave, did you do that?" You know.
And you know the old little lady wouldn't ask
And
you
I
that.
couldn't help but laugh. So I'd start laughing. Steve had stone face. He'd just walk away like nothing going on. And I'm like, it's not me. It's him. It's not me. I swear he was nuts. Something was wrong with that guy.
Well, we alluded to it, Dave.
Yeah, we did.
But this weekend we have a couple subjects we need to touch on before we run out of the hour. And by the way, I didn't pay attention when we started, so you're gonna have to help me out there.
Feels like we're about 15. We started at 7:15, maybe.
All
7:20.
right.
7:20. We'll call it 7:20.
7:20. All right. 7:20. For those kids playing at home, that's AM. We started to get a jump on it this week. Because I'm just kidding. We have the Sigma Chi reunion this weekend.
Well, 50th anniversary. It's not really a reunion.
Well, but that's who's showing up, right? We're reuniting.
Yeah, but it's not called a reunion. It's called an anniversary. I think
celebration.
I think there's a licensing different. There's some sort of certificate you have to get or a permit
and pay in or something like that.
I don't know. I'm making that up, but it's the 50th anniversary of our chapter being installed at UCF, University of Central Florida. I don't like saying UCF anymore. At the University of Central Florida, like the Ohio
State. Miami of Ohio State or whatever. That's what it started with, wasn't it? It was the Miami of Ohio saying the.
No, Miami of Ohio is a part of the Miami Triad, which has significance for Sigma Chi, but it's a school about that big, where the Ohio State University is I think it's just them being cocky.
I swear it started with them just differentiating themselves from.
We're not Miami of Ohio, we're the Ohio State University.
Or I was thinking the other way around. The Miami of Ohio was stating it so you wouldn't confuse it with the University of Miami.
Miami.
Yeah, the one in Miami, Florida.
Yeah,
because people would say Miami University of Ohio. No,
there's no Miami and Ohio thing together.
Maybe I'm wrong here. Isn't there a university in Ohio called Miami University?
No.
Try me again.
Okay, Ohio. Oh, no, you got me all screwed up.
Miami of Ohio, right?
Maybe you're right. Hold on. Alexa, where is Miami of Ohio?
From almabasket.it. Miami of Ohio University, also known as Miami University or simply Miami, is a public research university located in Oxford, Ohio.
Okay, you're right. My bad. Of
course I am.
That's not always the case. Okay, Alexa.
In my mind, I'm right every time.
Why do they always say the Ohio State University? No. Shit.
According to an Alexa Answers contributor,
it
is called the Ohio State because it is located in the state of Ohio, and it is a public land-grant university. It was added to distinguish TOSU from other universities such as Oregon State or Oklahoma State.
So it's not OSU. Oh, so it's like Florida State University and the University of Florida. So University of Florida differentiates by saying Florida, and Florida State says Florida State. And so Ohio is the Ohio, shit, now I got me all messed up.
I don't.
I hate it anyway. Buckeyes, screw them.
I used to be a fan of them until they hired the University of Florida coach. Can't think of his name off the top of my head.
I don't hate him.
Urban Meyer. So anyhow, Sigma Chi anniversary celebration reunification this Saturday in Orlando
at Florida. The University of
Central Florida. Right. Anyhow, hey, on another subject. So I'm looking forward to that. We'll see each other. And by the way, this is the end of season 4 for the Dave and Woody show.
Episode 12.
Yep, season 4. So that means we'll kick off season 5 with a recap.
Didn't it seem like this one took longer?
because we took we skipped 3 different weeks because of the holidays and your illness.
Ah, I was like, man, this is going on forever. Why does this
Yeah.
seem like it's taking this long?
So, and speaking of episodes, down in that corner over there, please subscribe. It's easy. If you haven't, by the time we see you this weekend, we will strong arm you into doing. We're going to steal phones and start pushing subscription buttons on people's phones. So
Hey, you want to subscribe to
if you're a
YouTube channel?
if you're a pledge and you
Ooh,
want
that's an idea. We can
yeah,
get all
if you're a
the
pledge
pledges.
and you want my signature,
Signature.
mhm,
Give me your phone.
you got to subscribe.
Oh, we're so doing that. So, brother Theus,
Yeah, although it'll be spring
no.
pledge.
There's a bunch of pledges. What advice can you give an underling? Well, first of all, you need to subscribe to my darn show,
That's right. There's
loser.
all sorts of things to learn.
Then pay your dues. Golly,
Right.
nib.
Look, just me and Dave are still friends. We weren't even in the same pledge class.
We're not even the same fraternity. I'm an ATO.
What?
I'm
I
a
just, been,
Lambda Chi.
I just been sitting in your meetings for the
Yeah.
last 20 years. So
I always say ATO. I don't even like those guys.
I liked a few of them. There's
Kappa
one that
Sig, we party.
one of the ATOs was almost part of our fraternity. He was hung around with us 90% of the time.
Oh, the little guy.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah, I went to high school with him. He's a year younger.
Really?
Than him. Yeah, the
Guy
guy
was,
that was drinking on the graduation stage, and he was an engineering guy.
yeah,
Smart,
he was
crazy
brilliant
smart.
guy. Yeah. Yeah. He remember that guy who used to sing at Nights Out Pub?
The entertainer guy.
Yeah.
He
What
always
was his
did drove the Chevy to the levee.
Levy? And he did all the folk songs. But
Yeah, what
anyhow,
was his name?
we're gonna go talk and people aren't gonna be able to keep up with us. But anyhow, the engineer guy hired him to
Yeah,
entertain at
at
his
his
birthday.
house. Did you go to his
Yes.
house?
I did not that time, but I remember
Phil.
him.
Phil,
Yes. Not the singer, the student,
the
right?
dude is Phil.
Yeah, I couldn't remember who the singer was.
We went to high school together. He was a year. He was in my Latin class. Phil,
Why would you take Latin?
because my mother said so.
Because you
probably one
wanted
of the
you to
best-
be a lawyer or a
No,
doctor, right?
probably one of the best classes I ever took. It helped me with this show right here. It helped me with origins of words and
Yeah, you've been on it every time I bring up a new word, Dave.
well, I make up a lot of stuff.
Sapid, where did that come from?
Oh, that's the
Because I'll look it up.
it's probably Latin.
It is actually early 17th century Latin.
Means strong, favorable flavor, if I remember translating.
Strong,
Look, I only
pleasant
knew one
taste.
I only knew one translation. I think I've shared that way. Dehi mihi bonum caput.
Yes, that was your answer to everything in the class.
Yeah, I can't translate that. For those Latinos out there that know what I'm saying.
Anyhow,
right, Carol
so I'm
Eagle,
looking
God
forward
rest her
to
soul.
yeah, and looking forward to seeing my fellow
Okay,
fraternity
can I
brothers this
share
weekend.
something on this note? And
No.
I've been dreaming like crazy lately. What does that mean?
It's your diet.
It's all the dips.
Yeah,
I got
the
to get off the
jalapenos.
hummus.
You got to get off the jalapenos.
All the particulates of beans. This is where
Yeah.
I'm headed to.
Your
So
wife might appreciate that as well.
So I had a dream with you.
Get out of here.
Creepy. So I got to thinking the other day. How long? This is basically a year, right?
Yeah.
We've been doing this 48 episodes.
Yeah,
A
roughly.
year, right? And well, if you count the times we've been out, me sickness or whatever, it's a year. We've been talking for a year, and mind you, before that, we've scatter talked. I mean, we really didn't put something together, but we've chatted. But it's been how many years
since we chatted?
Since we talked, saw each other, embraced.
Well, not embracing, by the way.
Since I slipped you the grip.
Geez. Probably Brad and
25 years
bachelor party. Probably 20, at least 20.
Before my youngest daughters.
Yeah, I didn't know you were married until we caught up recently.
So I got to thinking we're going to see each other in person.
Wow. Maybe.
No, it's kind of cool. I've got a little fuzziness going on
Did
now.
you? All right.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
got
did you get goosebumps
a little
thinking about
twinge.
it?
Well, I'm being kind of serious. I mean, it's
I know.
this is a weird space that we're in. We physically get to see each other and we hear each other, and I think it's close enough, to be honest with you. I don't want to necessarily go
Yeah,
25
let's not
years.
push it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, come on. But it's going to be kind of cool to actually see each other. I mean, maybe
Yeah.
maybe we'll just destroy the show after this. It'd be like, oh,
Yeah, we'll be
what an
so
ass.
disappointed.
It'd be like that
It'll-
first date going, wow, that didn't
that,
work out.
that was a bummer.
All right. Anyway, I thought that was kind of cool. At
So
this,
what was the dream?
well, it was that. It was that we were, I think there was like music playing, and then, that kind of slow motion where
Did
you're
I?
running toward each other. My hair really wasn't
Yeah.
moving because it doesn't,
And there was like clouds behind me, like
but the sun was peeking through, of course.
Oh, okay. All right.
It was a cloudy day becoming a sunny, bright day. I don't know.
All right.
And there was
Well,
the guy selling street corn on the corner. I don't know what was
there
going
you
on.
go.
No, I'm looking forward to. Well, here's the other thing: is I'll be sober, which is not the
That
case
might
it
be
was
new.
25 years ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think we know each other outside of
And that's what kind
uh
of scares me a little bit.
the beer goggles. So we'll have to see how that goes.
Yeah. Well, Dave, you're not quite the guy I remember because you're.
Yeah. You sure you're Dave?
Yeah. Anyway.
That ended poorly.
All right,
So
great show.
so this past weekend, did you make it down to Daytona?
Yeah. No. No, it was raining, wasn't it?
It all weekend ruined the opening weekend for NASCAR racing and myself. I didn't know what to do with myself on Sunday. I had no football to watch. I had no
Was it raining
racing to
in North
watch.
Carolina though?
No.
See, this weekend, President's Day, Monday. Did you have it off?
No, gosh, no.
Well, we did. And so my wife didn't. She had to go to work. And so I'm
Yeah.
thinking, it's going to be a good weekend. I'm going to get a couple cigars, going to live high on the hog. It was freezing. I mean,
Oh, was it?
Saturday and Sunday, it was like 40 degrees. And, that Florida 40 and it's raining.
Yeah, yeah.
It feels like it's really about 15.
For
But
people
anyway.
that live in Florida. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a damp cold. You can't get.
I still have my Florida tolerance for cold weather. I'm in a sweatshirt tonight, it's 60 degrees,
Well, and what I'm talking about, it gets cold. You can't get ahead of it. It's a weird cold. But anyway, and I know people go, "That's nothing. You don't have any snow." I said, "No, you come down and experience what I'm talking about. You'll see what I'm talking about. It goes right through your
It's
clothes."
the humidity.
Yeah, it is. It's the humidity. Anyway, so Saturday and Sunday were shot, and then Monday, I was going to get up early and drive over to Tobacco Cove because you can have a cigar inside there. You're out of the weather. But then I got crazy booked. I was at 7:30 in the morning. I got up, made my wife coffee and breakfast at 6:30, saw her off to work. And then she goes, "What are you going to do?" And I said, I'm going to kick around the house here. Well, I was booked from 7:30 to 9:30 at night.
Well, how could you be booked if you didn't think you had any plans?
Well, I started calling people, a lot of impromptu stuff.
There you go. There's your first mistake, calling people.
Well, being self-employed, I don't like sitting around.
Yeah, I
So,
guess that is because you were bugging me right in the middle of the race.
yeah, I feel like I'm wasting time if I'm not getting something done. And so I made a bunch of calls and said, "Look, I got some time," and boom, 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 I had it filled up.
Well, you could call it wasting time. I call it building content, watching racing.
No. That's fine. It's just that's not. I can't do that.
You can't
can't.
watch something.
Not anymore. I don't
Well,
even
you
like
watch your-
watching.
You watch your TikToks and stuff all the time.
Yeah, I do that at night, and I'm doing something else while I'm doing it. Usually,
Do
I'm
I want to
smoking.
know what
Usually,
that is?
no, usually I'm smoking a cigar.
Yeah, that's what they call it.
No, that is what they call it. Thank you. No, that's actually what I'm doing. I have a cigar. It's about a 3 hour smoke a cigar, and then that's my time to
Watch videos.
watch the TikToks.
There you go.
I don't do TikTok, by the way.
You
Not a
don't.
no, it's communist.
Never mind. It's
Yeah, I
owned
know.
by an American company now.
No, it's not.
I thought the government made them have an
Alexa, who
American
owns
presence.
TikTok?
TikTok is owned by ByteDance. TikTok's founder and original CEO was Zhang Yiming, with Shou Zi-Chu becoming CEO in 2021.
And Alexa, is BrightDance connected to the CCP?
From 10era.io. It embodies third-party providers that are connected to the CCP.
Oh,
There you go. There you
communist.
go. Oh,
Communist
we
China
don't have
People's Republic.
we don't have time to get into David's deep dive with
My
David.
aluminum cap is out for cleaning.
Well, speaking of a maturity of a sixth grader, Dave, I while watching the race, I was entertained by the fact. So at the super speedways, the cars are set up in a way that aerodynamically it makes sense to ride up as close to the back end of a car as you can with your car, because with two cars together, you basically create an envelope of air. And these guys are going 190 miles an hour and they're on 30% throttle because they're up behind these cars. So one of the things they do to gain positions is they bump each other. They come up and they just kind of bump the guy in front of them lightly enough it doesn't send them into a spin, but at the same time gives them a little bit of momentum. And then that air coming off of that car then grabs you and pulls you forward. And so, and then lo and behold, there's a driver in NASCAR named Kyle Busch. And the announcers, someone had to tell them to stop, and they kept saying they're bumping Bush, they're bumping Bush. And my sixth grade mentality had me tickled pink. Yes, I did.
So is that what they call drafting?
Yes. But it's called bump drafting because you
Semis don't like that on the highway either when you ride
No, because they can't see you, Dave. If you can't see their mirrors, they can't see you. You
That's
read
what
that
they
on the
say.
back. That's what it says on the
They
back.
got cameras now.
So
I don't want to mess with those guys. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Now, apparently, I'm on the Sigma Chi committee meeting last night.
you're so lucky.
Yeah. It was the last meeting. Last meeting for the big show. I have to give Alan Fidel, I'm gonna give him credit. Alan Fidello, he was the leader, but everyone on that team, if they're
I'm glad
listening,
I'm glad I got invited.
well,
They needed people to do things, so I guess that makes sense.
yeah, you would not volunteer for stuff. So you're like, no,
Yeah.
don't call me. Let George do it. But the committee they put together, everyone on, I came late to the thing because they didn't
That's how
they
you
didn't
roll.
need me till the last minute. But it's impressive. It really is. They started this thing a year ago,
Yeah.
planning for this event. We're going to have 300 people in total. I think there's going to be almost 300 people at dinner.
Wow.
I'll probably screw it up.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that'll be funny. I'm taping it and I'm putting it on the show.
No, it's gonna get taped. It's all gonna be taped.
Yeah.
So
Lots of pictures.
The whole no pants thing is not gonna go over very well.
It'll be a surprise still.
Well, it won't be the first time. But anyway,
Right.
what was I telling you? Big show, big planning, great leadership by the core group of people, and the you always trying to point toward the leader. But every one of those people, and there was Tim's wife was involved from the planning stage. I think their daughter's taking pictures at some point during the weekend. I really got to hand it off to them. They just did a great job, and it's pretty cool to be a part of it. It's kind of. Do you remember the week? Do you remember like when we did spring break, or we would do Derby Day, Derby week?
Yep.
And there would be like a subcommittee that would come together and you go, okay, we're going to do t-shirts and we're going to get hats.
Yeah.
It's exactly like that meeting that was going on in the chapter house, but like 80 times bigger.
Right. Tim also helped Plan Grand Chapter that year. It was in Orlando.
Well, I think he's the Grand Praetor.
What's that mean?
I don't know, it's spelled funny.
He leads the parade?
Praetor.
Oh.
Let's see if she knows what this is. Alexa, what is a Sigma Chi Grand Praetor?
From turamusic.com.au. The Sigma GJME is a grand jumbo acoustic, electric guitar with a solid Sitka spruce top and mahogany back and sides that deliver a big sound and rich, warm tone.
That's that thing you're talking about at the mariachi band.
The mariachi band, the cello turned sideways. You know, Dave, I think you could have just said, what is a praetor or a grand praetor? And you would have gotten
an answer. If you're going to critique my Alexa stuff, okay, hold on. Tim Melnick is Grand Praetor. Are we supposed to say that out loud?
I don't know what that is.
Is that secret?
Not anymore.
I think it means like poopah.
Of what?
No, it's a fraternal term. It means
I understand
it's like
that.
a regional.
It's a leadership role.
I think it's a regional director.
Okay, all right,
kind of thing.
Sounds important.
He gets a region, like he's responsible for, I don't know, Southeast or something. I don't know.
Very good.
I'm sure it's very important.
Well,
I don't have the word grand in front of me.
Well, you do.
Think my name
behind your back. Behind your back, we have.
Hold on a second. Is my name on here?
Call you Grand Pa.
It says MCs. Yeah, that's what we are. We're MCs.
All right. I thought you were going to be Master of Ceremonies.
Well, I'm going with Master of Ceremonies. Me and Jada. Why do I keep doing that? Yeah, his name's not on here either. Jad. I got to get that fixed up.
What's his name?
I think it's Jad. Jad. It messes me up.
Jad,
I love you, brother, but it's a learning disability I have. I see something. I do this. My wife and daughter would tell you these stories. I either hear it and I misinterpret in my brain. It doesn't come through all the way, or I look at it and read it and I get hung up on it. And I'll say it, and they'll go, "No, that's not it," and they'll correct me, and I can't. It's like,
I'm the same way. It's like
dyslexia or something, but it's not.
Once it's wired a certain way in your brain, there's no change in it.
Yeah, it's what do they call those things? Fissures? No. What do they call that? Synapse. So your brain
fissures a synapse.
Whatever. Okay. It's the holes. So your brain has these synapses, and what happens is it connects to one of the wherever it's going on. I don't know. It's firing off in your brain somewhere. And so if one of them's not connecting, it doesn't finish. I learned this. I read it in a book. And
this you could remember about the anatomy of a brain. But Jad, you can't hold that one.
It's the weirdest thing. I get hung up on stupid stuff, and it'll take me about hopefully I get it by this weekend.
Do you need me to go introduce myself to him so I hear his name?
Up in the audience that says, "You tell me it's." You know what it is? I'm going to write his name phonetically, and I'm going to put. How do you do that with a line?
Well, I don't know. How would you spell Jad phonetically, though?
I think Jad, and that's how you spell it.
But if that's exactly.
What do you do when you put the line
much more phonetic than it already is?
If you put the line over the A, isn't
that would make it Jade.
That's the hard A.
That's a long A.
Oh, see now I got that.
He has a soft A.
Oh, I haven't met him yet. If he's got a soft A,
maybe if you play your cards right, he'll let you see his soft A.
I have a hard A in mine, David.
Yours is the long A.
Oh, David. I've always said it was long A.
Right. And Jad might be a hard A. I don't know. I think it's soft.
I haven't brushed up against him yet.
I'm gonna find out. We'll know. Hey, you got a soft A.
This is not helping me at all. I'm
you're gonna be now all different.
Now I've got 3 versions in my head. Any given moment, I can say the wrong thing.
So,
Dad, I'm sorry. First of all, if you listen to this on your way back from Tallahassee, I'm sorry.
What's he
Not
doing in
you, man.
Tallahassee?
It's not you. It's me.
What's
Did
he
I say
doing in
that?
Tallahassee?
I was supposed to say that. No, he had a meeting or something he was in Tallahassee
Oh,
for.
I thought he's a student.
No. This guy's he's a graduate. He's a former
Okay.
consul. He
I
lives
thought he
in
was the current consul. Is what I
no.
was
That's
thinking.
another guy named Wad or something. Hold
Okay.
on.
Well, you gonna ask Alexa?
I think his name's Caleb or Caleb.
Khalib.
I think. Oh God, don't do that. That's gonna mess. It is. It's Caleb.
You
No,
sure?
I don't know. Caleb. Yeah, current Ada Pi consul.
All right.
I don't know. This is going south.
Well,
That's what.
listen, I wasn't done talking about
Oh, I'm
NASCAR
sorry. I'll shut
and
up. Go ahead.
everything I had to say, but I am fascinated, and this sponsor has sponsored cars before in NASCAR, but years ago, I'm all for the armed forces and everything, but I never understood why they advertised on race cars, right? And I think they've stopped recently. I
Recruits.
think they say that, but I can't imagine that helps recruiting at all.
Oh yeah.
But I think they've stopped because there used to be an army car all the time, and then the
Yeah.
Marines would have one, and so forth and so on. But they haven't been around for a while. But the one I'm seeing now is build submarines, one word.com.
The phrase "build submarines." That's one word.
Right,
.com.
.com.
So we're probably trying to recruit submariners.
Well, and it says build submarines. Are we
People
just
that
got
build the
we got a
shipbuilding.
shortage of submarine builders? I mean, why are they sponsoring a race car?
Well, their demographic must be.
I didn't expect you to have an answer to this,
I
but I was
don't. I could make
also,
up something, but
and I
no.
could have looked it up, I
So let's
guess.
think about this. If you're going to advertise, you got to advertising is about messaging to a certain demographic, right?
Hmm.
So the fellow who's our police officer on campus is a former Army. In his early part of his Army career, he was a recruiter outside of Pittsburgh, in Pittsburgh. And so recruiters hang around. You get recruits from high school, right? They're
Hmm.
17. When they become 18, you sign them up. And so you think about 18-year-olds. What do they like? They NASCAR fans, 18-year-olds? Some of them are, right? Turning
Yes.
wrenches, that kind of stuff. So
I don't know, but yeah, it's getting there. So,
you either
yeah,
get the
I
kid that
guess.
wants to go to college, you probably don't want to talk to him, but we need people to put boots on. And so you offer, hey, this would be a good job for you. See the world.
Looking at it, I thought, well, why don't I just wait till we're in the middle of the show before I do a little research? And it looks like they're just a recruiter to build submarines.
Well, I would assume that the submarine is really where the warfare is going to happen, which is kind of crazy, which is scary because they carry the nuclear warheads that will destroy the rest of the planet, and we have them,
Yeah.
and Russia has them, and I think Chinese are building them. Probably TikTok's involved in that, but
Yeah, probably. Every time you use TikTok, you're helping fund a new
they get a
submarine.
couple,
Hmm.
whatever their currency is, the not the yen, but the wazoo or something. Anyway, so yeah, no, well, I mean, think about how many guys do you know right now in your neighborhood who are submarine builders?
Zero.
None, right? I mean,
Why would they be in my neighborhood?
well, that's what I'm saying. There's a shortage. Clearly, there's a shortage.
I'm gonna go around and take a little poll this weekend. Hey, you build submarines?
What are you doing all the weekends? Are
Right.
you a
Well,
submariner?
it's odd how they're looking for skilled professionals or entry level or transitioning military. I thought they had a don't tell, don't say policy. Oh, transitioning out of the
Out of
military.
military
I see.
versus the taxpayer paying for your transition.
Here we go. So anyhow, I
Well,
just found I found
hold on
that
a
a
second.
odd
I don't know. Maybe
sponsor.
this angles on to something. Maybe the dudes think about this. If you're a dude,
Or
and
lady.
well, hold on, but let's just pick on the dudes for a second. If you're a dude, and I'm just kind of be honest here for a minute, and you're transitioning, so you clearly have kind of a sensitivity about you, right? I mean, that's not a bad thing.
I don't think it
Sensitivity is
applies
good or
to
bad.
everybody, but yeah, some
But
people
I
are
mean, if
probably
you're thinking
more.
about being a chick, I mean, there's
Yeah.
probably some level of sensitivity to you. So you might be a nimble physicality to you that helps you build submarines.
They're not the size of the submarines of World War II, Dave, anymore. They're like floating hotels.
They're huge.
Yeah,
There's like 3,000 people on these things.
I know. Well, what was the old joke?
Screen door.
No, 200 sailors go to sea, 100 couples return, something like that.
That is transitioning.
That was the old joke back in the
That's
day.
not the one I was thinking. What do you call the guy that lives in a sub?
A submariner.
Oh yeah. All right, let's go.
Can you say the punchline?
No, because
Oh, well, then why'd you bring it up?
I don't know how we
And
got there.
my last beef with the race, and I do not watch any of it because both were run on Monday. The Xfinity Series and the Daytona 500 both.
Okay,
ran.
I'm trying to get to this point, but I keep interrupting you and myself. Apparently, the young kid that made the big crash, was there one significant one during Monday?
During the 500.
Yeah.
There was a couple, but the big one was probably William Byron and Alex Bowman kind of caused it.
Well, there's some connection, and there might be a SIG connection.
Okay.
Because they were talking about, some of the older guys were saying, hey, Joe G, did you see that big wreck?
Which I think he was Grand Creator in our day.
He was.
Okay, so that's what Tim is now. Okay.
Yeah. And so apparently there was this big wreck, and either they're mutual friends of Joe G, the family is, or there's a Sigma Chi tie somehow.
Oh, okay. Be interested to see what that is.
Yeah. So I didn't think about it fast enough to say, wait a minute, there could be something I could share with the show with Woody and let him run with it.
Well, I hope it's not Nemechek who caused not only 2 crashes in the 500, but another one in the Xfinity. He was doing double duty like a couple drivers did yesterday and raced in both.
That sounds familiar, that name.
Nemechek?
Yeah.
Yeah, he caused 3 of them yesterday.
It is a big pileup.
It wasn't impressive at all. He caused one on lap 6 early in the 500, and then he spun someone out in the pits later on, and then took out a couple more people in the latter race.
Yesterday. Where is he from?
I don't know. I know his father used to race too, so
it sounded like there's a Central Florida tie to it, or something. I don't know.
Well, we'll have
could have been one
around.
Of Joe G's clients. He was
pretty connected, I think, right?
I think he was one of those insurance, State Farm guys.
Right. Well, I think we're getting close to the bumping up on the hour, Dave, and it's with the NASCAR season starting tonight is race simulation training here in the Woody household. So we all got to get our seat time tonight.
So my understanding about the guys that race, it's just all out, right? Pedal to the metal.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier. No, not with bump drafting. They don't have to be anymore because they have to let off the accelerator, else they'll just go too fast. So they have to hang off the accelerator. They're doing 190 on the backstretch. So
that's about what I drive to work.
Well, you may be pedal to metal in your 4-bagger from the 1970s.
No, I'm driving a Hyundai Santa Fe.
What year?
Not
in the last 5 years or anything.
I think it's a 2011.
Okay, because isn't it the Hyundais that are getting stolen now because there's some trick?
Yeah, mine's on that list.
Is it really?
But when they see the paint job, they're like,
"Yeah, it's not worth it."
The gel coat, the shiny part.
Yeah, the clear coat.
The clear coat. Mine's all coming off.
It always is in Florida. It's horrible down there with the sand and the heat.
Is that the one I bought? Well, the lady owned it. She lived in St. Augustine,
Mhm.
And I think there was no, what's that thing you get when you buy it, the check for accidents and stuff, the fax,
Oh, yeah, Carfax.
Carfax. There was no Carfax report of an accident, but my left rear door, the lock mechanism doesn't work electronically, and there's something else, but the gel coats, whatever that stuff's called, is coming off the front. Now that makes sense. But she lived at the beach, so what I'm thinking is
Yeah.
the beach started it.
Yeah,
There's
salt
no
air.
rust though. I don't know. I don't wash my car, so there's all kinds of weird stuff going. I think there's algae growing on it.
I would
I don't
say, do
know.
you have like grass growing on the roof?
I do. There's
Yeah,
like,
in above the door where that
yeah.
little,
What is
yeah.
that?
It's called dirt, and then weeds get in there and it grows.
Is it really? Because
Yes.
I'm looking down the body panel the other day, and I'm like, wow, I should probably wash the car. And then I opened up the one door I never opened. It's on
Right.
the back right. I opened it up, and the wind in the door jamb has caught the accumulation of the dust. And now there's like hair follicles coming out of it. But I think is it grass or is it mold?
And I got a ride in this car to the airport.
No, I'm renting a car.
Oh, okay, good. Whew.
I'm renting a Hyundai Santa Fe.
2011.
I'm renting a new one. I don't know if they're going to give me the Hyundai or not, but I'm renting that class. Kind of like an Ohio class submarine, but smaller.
Much smaller.
Yeah.
So, well, if you want a job in the submarine world, now you know where to go.
Can you imagine? You know those things can hold on. Alexa, how long can an Ohio class submarine stay submerged?
From 1945.com. Each Ohio-class submarine spends an average of 77 days submerged at sea before returning to shore for roughly 1 month of maintenance.
Okay, what's the other class? Alexa, what's the newest class of submarines?
From wheelsinquirer.com. The Tomahawk class is the newest class of submarines in the U.S. Navy.
Okay. Alexa, how long can a Tomahawk class submarine stay submerged?
From wheelsinquirer.com. Tomahawk
7
class
days.
submarines are the largest in the U.S. Navy and can stay submerged for up to 3 months.
Well, it's good to know that what's-her-face knows all this stuff. My father, who used to work at Martin Marietta, would probably spin in his grave right now that, oh, yeah, you can just ask this thing and it tells you about all this top secret stuff. Of course, now I'm going to have federal agents at my door knocking on the door.
Here, Mr. Brady. There wouldn't be an episode without Dave's paranoia.
There'll be a knock on the door. It's like, yeah, our Alexa says you've been looking about
Tomahawk. And how long you have to wait for them to come up?
3 months.
I couldn't imagine being down, no sun.
Do you know why they have to come up?
To get air.
No. Think about it. What do they run out of?
Food.
Or
is it waste?
No, they dump it. That's bilge. It goes right out to the dolphins.
You think they do?
They probably drink it. Seriously, they have a desalination plant. They have water makers on board.
Right.
It's nuclear, so they don't ever need to get fuel ever. It makes electricity.
Obviously makes air.
It makes air. The only thing they run out of is, toilet paper. They run out of food and toilet paper.
Hey, boss, we're down to the last roll of toilet paper. We're going to have to surface.
But the Brewskis are up there. Toilet paper. There's probably a bunch of bidets on board.
Oh, yeah. So I couldn't imagine 3 months.
3 months in a can underwater.
Water.
I would go senile, crazy.
I wonder. I mean, they're much, much, much larger.
No, but you're still bumping into people.
I get crazy
on bumping NASCAR.
Yeah, I get the cruise ship. I even get a little after a week of being on.
What do they say? Every day the boat gets shorter by a foot or something like that. I think so. Where did I learn that? When you go on a cruise, every day the boat gets shorter. So if you're on it like for,
it's this hyperbole. What
yeah. I mean, it's
this isn't physics.
No, the boat doesn't actually get shorter. You leave on a Caribbean cruise line, you come back here and you're in a rowboat. I think I've been at sea a long time.
Well, what is the connotation? What's that meaning?
It's because, like, okay, the first day, what do you do when you get on a cruise? You go everywhere. You cruise, you
Right.
walk all the way up to the bow, and you're like, oh, king of the
Yeah, I'm
world.
a king of the world. Yeah.
And then you go back, and then the next day you go downstairs to the engine room. And so what you're doing is you're seeing everything. And then about the fifth day, you're like, I'm not even gonna leave my room. I've been to the bow, I've been to the engine room, I've been to the stern. I'm done.
People are living on these boats now.
Oh, speaking of nautical, okay, jury rig. We gotta close this chapter.
All right, close. Let's put it to bed right now.
And we'll wrap this up. So jury rig is not a formal rigging. It's not like a jib of a sail
Or a spinnaker.
or a spinnaker. It is the name for makeshift repair on board a boat.
So where did it get its name?
Yeah, but I got more homework. I don't know.
I want to show everybody I solved the Rubik's Cube from last week.
Can we see the other 4 panels or 6 panels, whatever it is?
One side a week, Dave.
Okay.
I don't want to get everybody too
That's
excited.
the red ones. Anyway, so a jury rig is a fix, and using stuff that you've got, like a MacGyver. MacGyver would probably be a good rig artist. Remember MacGyver?
Yeah, I remember
Couple pieces
MacGyver.
of gum, a toothpick,
Yes,
some
and
floss.
he could build a nuclear bomb.
He could build a submarine.
That was the SNL bit, right?
Yeah, what was that called? I don't. Let's not go down that path.
I know.
All right, did we cover everything?
MacGruber.
I didn't do my stock report.
Yeah, save it for the
We'll
season
save it because
5.
the big earnings report comes out tomorrow.
All
So
right.
that'll be fun, whether or not I'm making any money or I lost everything.
We're looking forward to that. And hey, see you this weekend.
Firm embrace.
Yeah, no, I'll just
Slip
see
you the
you
grip?
visually.
I get to slip you the grip, though, right?
Let's sure.
At least when nobody's looking, I can slip you the grip.
Depends.
You'll find it here.
I'm glad to hear that.
For those that know. All right, I'm Dave.
I'm Woody.
And once again, ladies and gentlemen, you have witnessed a titillating episode of We Can Help with Dave and Woody. And for those of you that know what we're talking about, and for those of you that don't, we'll see you next time. See you. Bye.
Subscribe.
Oh, yeah. That's